Hello everyone, welcome here. Thanks for new subs. Thank you so much. And today I decided to try a new format, which will be a simultaneous against my subs. I suggested this idea, and I am happy that this idea was supported by the subs on my Discord channel. I already have the list of players who already expressed their wish to play. So we will have 10 boards. For the beginning, the time control is 15 minutes plus 10 seconds per move. So you will have time to think. I hope I'll have enough time to make the moves on different boards. So thanks for creating the link. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, mods. My mods are the best. Hi, Muzychuk. Hello. Will you play? Maybe you will join for the second one. No, I think we have already 10 players, so yeah, I'll start accepting the challenges one by one, and then we will see. Okay, good luck to everyone. Have nice games. Okay, I think we have 10 games. Yeah, so let's go. Can you see the games? Yeah, you can see the board well. It's unrated. But why doesn't it switch between the... I don't know, it should have been automatically, but it doesn't anyway. Now it goes. Why can't I make the move here? It's a bit strange. I have to work hard, but it's a bit strange system anyway. Okay, let's just make the moves. Or maybe it's the same games. Okay, got it. So it's just the opening stage. Let's try to go for the c5 pawn. This is I believe this was still the theory. Can we play d5? Yes, maybe we can. Should I play quicker or slower? I don't really know. It's my first simul. Let's attack the bishop. d3, very solid. I mean, my subs, why are you playing so well? There are 10 games and nobody blundered even single pawn. How will I win? Take. Finally, I think I can take it. Yes, I think I can take it. Okay. At least someone is kind. I don't remember who it was because the new board is coming immediately, but finally I got some present for my efforts. Let's have something funny. Okay, let's take it. Let's take it. Let's take it. Why not? And let's take it. And let's go. No, it's not so easy. Let's develop the pieces. This one, then this knight is coming. And I don't want this knight coming to f5. That's why this move. Bishop f4. That was good. If this, then... Okay, let's see if my opponent will repeat the moves. If not, then maybe not. What about this idea? It's a bit crazy, but why not? Okay, knight b5, yes. That was a bit unpleasant. I also thought about a rook g5. Anyway, okay. We will still fight. I don't know how exactly at the moment, but we will still fight. How will we fight? How will we fight? Okay, let's make some other moves and then we will think how we will fight. I mean, I have some other moves. Okay, this one. This one. I'm not sure, but let's try. Let's go. Okay, let's finally make some move here. Let's try to make some move here. It's not so easy, but let's try to make some move. Okay, let's try to make some random move. I don't know. Let's go here or here. Here. Knight e1. Okay, this was a nice idea. This. What do we do now? Do we play b6 or bishop b7? Okay, it's a bit risky. Let's play more solid. Let's play solid. Let's take it. This queen. What if I play here? I don't see where this knight can go. So yes, what to do now? Well, let's make some useful move. And now let's go. Now we have a choice between a good move and a better one. So should I make a good move or a better one? Well, d5 is coming. d5 is coming. Let's discuss. f3. So this or this, maybe here. Let's take it. Let's unpin. What do we do now? And knight d4. I don't think it's a serious threat. Is it? Is it a threat? I don't think it's a serious threat. Let's just develop the pieces. Take. Now I have a long-term plan to bring the knight to d5. Thanks for a piece. So what do I do now? b4. Wow. b4 was a good move, most probably. This one, this one, this one, this one, then I take this one. So yeah, let's play this move. Let's attack. Let's attack, or let's play e5. Let's attack. I like this attack. Okay, this person is playing a bit too strong. So, I mean, especially for a 1000 rating, it's a bit suspicious. Let's take it. Check. Here. Let's just develop the pieces. Let's trade the pieces. Now I have a choice. I can take with the pawn and I can take with the queen, but with the pawn it's more stable. We take here because we play with for the c5 pawn. Okay, bishop b5, bishop b5. I'm not sure it's working because I think I can take this pawn and use the pin. Yes, let's take. And now a check for a queen. Queen d2. Oh, a nice cookie. Did you really want to play that? I'm not sure. But thanks for the donation. of the rook. First we take, yes, let's first take to spoil the structure. So what's now? Okay, I'm a rook up, so the position can't be bad. If I attack, then the bishop will come to f2. Let's just play solid. Queen c7. Okay, here. I'm a rook up, right? Yes, I am a rook up here. Let's attack the pawn. Let's take the bishop. Knight f8, yes, good move, good defense. I am glad you found it. So what can I do now? I can play e5, open the position, and I'll have a good compensation. Let's play e5. I mean, we have one life. We shouldn't hesitate too much. Let's take. But I mean, could I do? I don't know, maybe I could have done something better. Okay, let's attack the rook. Take on c5, but let's take with the queen to trade the pieces. When you have material advantage, you should trade the pieces. Yes, this and then rook d3. Here, attacking the e6 pawn, trade. Yes, now there is a small problem. Maybe we don't have any problems. Maybe we simply take on b8 and knight c7, king e7, and it's still okay. Is it? Yes, it's still okay. Relatively, it's okay. King d4. The king is trying to escape, but will the king escape? Let's give a check. Let's see where the king will go. Rook e1. Yeah, d takes e5. And now I have to prove that there was a reason to sacrifice this pawn. And the reason is that we get this central square for both of the knights. And now I can play queen f3 or queen e2. I'm trying to think which one is better, but maybe both are okay. Let's try with queen f3. I like it. Knight d2. Okay, this knight is jumping. Knight is jumping. This was a good move. I have some problems with this position. I have some problems. How to solve them? I don't know yet. Let's castle. If you don't know what to do, just castle. Okay, now let's trade the pieces. And now let's win the pieces. e5. Okay, let's trade the pieces. So now we should somehow try to win the pieces. Just, to make it in a logical order. And knight d6. Now I have a choice. I can take, of course, on d6. But I can also play king e7. And I think this is better because my dark square bishop is important. If I'm not blundering anything, this should be a better move. Yeah, rook d8, and this long-term plan, I mean knight d2, knight c4, now the knight is coming to e3, and later on it's coming to d5, so this was my deep idea, and finally I managed to fulfill it. Here. What's that? Everyone is thinking? I mean, 10 boards and everyone is thinking. Amazing. Okay, good that you are thinking. I have time to relax because my arm of moving the pieces. Okay, so finally someone made the move. I don't think the sacrifice works, so I'll just take it. Take it. c5, let's attack it. Queen b5. Good. Okay, these pieces are under the attack, so by one move I can defend both, but then I give this pawn. No, I don't give it. Here I play queen d2. Now we think, because there may be some sacrifices on f2 or something interesting. Can we find something interesting in this position? Let's try. Okay, let's play simple. Let's just attack it. Let's attack, occupy the central file. Let's go. So check. H6. Okay, my knight is moving to the place where I wanted to place it. Now I can use this pin, and I think I can take this pawn. Queen G5. Yes, we trade the pieces, and this was my idea. Rook G5, and now we think, yeah, I made a bad move, and now I'm thinking. Very logical. Move order. Okay, let's develop the pieces. This knight is the only piece which is not developed, so let's play knight d7, queen h5. I mean, oh my god, this. Well, if the position is not the one you like, still try to fight. Let's take the bishop at this one. Now let's trade the rooks and take the a3 pawn. Dorayaki, you're playing very well. Very well. So bishop e7. Now I think I have to move this knight because I like this square. I really like this square. Let's move the knight to a good square. So tricky. Now the queen is actually hanging. Yes. Now I have to move this queen. Where can I move it? I mean, there are many ways I can move the queen. I can move to d5. I can move to e3. Let's try to move it to e3, threatening the check on g5. h4. h4. Okay. Where are these pawns going? Let's attack. Queen a5. Now I castle. And now I can think how to regroup my pieces. Okay, I'll just play b5. And now I will block, because when you're playing with the knights, you have to have outposts for them. So this move, okay, I wanted to play this move first, not to allow. Rook d7 in the previous position. Now I can place both of the knights on d5, but you know, I want to place them both at the same time, and I can't do that. So, I mean, I will define later which knight I'll put there. Let's bring the rook to the attack. King g4. Now I play here, and rook c4 I want to play on the next move. Now I play rook d1, rook f4. Now, okay, I must do something. I have to do something with my position. Let's try to spoil the structure. Let's trade pieces. We have no choice. Knight h7. Now this square is a bit weak. Can I exploit it? Yes, I think I can play queen g3 and attack the pawns. Can I? Yeah, I think I can. Let's go. Rook d1. Okay, you will defend it from there. Well, let it be, but the rook on b1 will be passive. Queen c6, and now I can take it. Bishop d8. Bishop d8, so this bishop is going to go there, but we will not allow it. Yes, rook b1. But now we have this move, because the king on g4 was pinned. Okay, it's you know, sometimes when it's totally winning you get confused and you can't choose between a good move and a better one. So, well, let's just double the rooks. This was a little trap. Rook g4. Okay, now I have to open my bishops. I have to take this pawn and I have to go back. Or maybe first, just a second. Yes, I will give the c5 pawn too. But it's the right thing to do because I have to open my bishops very, very quickly. So I'm just thinking if I should take on c3 first, or should I take on e5 immediately and then take. I think it's basically the same. So, but this, yeah, let's take this first. We take one more pawn, and there are some mating threats already. So should I go to d6 or to c5? Both are quite okay. Queen g2. Queen g2. I have this check, but then g5. So I can play something like queen g7, and it's not so clear how black is going to defend. How is black going to defend? How are we going to defend? I could take bishop d7 immediately, but anyway, I decided to take it. Now I decide to spoil the structure. Rook e5. Is there a mate? Can I mate? Okay, let's give the check first. Or h6. I don't see the mate. But the position is too good. So let's just not blunder the queen. Any move that is not blunder the queen is perfect. Let's attack now these weaknesses. Take. Now we take. Check. Check. A check from nowhere. So what can I do now? What can I improve? I can double the rooks, and I think it's a good idea. Let's try to double the rooks and create more pressure. And this queen is a bit unstable. Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go. I see that my opponent is trying to prepare e3, which is not a bad idea. But I have more material. So hopefully my material advantage is a more important thing in this position. So what can I do now? I can move the rook to f5, for example. I can play knight d5. I mean, I'm definitely not worse, because in the worst case I can repeat the moves by rook d8. But can I try to play for a win? I can try to play for a win. I can try, and then let's see what happens. Rook c5. I see I already won one game. So here I won. Okay, not bad. And on the other boards we are fighting. We are fighting. We have the fight. A very serious fight. Okay, this is a checkmate, I believe. And now, yeah, I told you about this square, yes? So we have this intermediate check, which will be a bit unpleasant for black. So yes, rook c5. This was I was going to sacrifice this pawn to activate my bishops. And now I just activate my pieces. Bishop g5. That was good. This move or this move? Let's try this move. I mean, the queen was almost trapped, but almost. I mean, there is this word almost. Unfortunately, not completely. So we have this bishop on e2. So now do I take with the queen or with the knight? I prefer with the knight because I like my knight on e4. Rook b4. Good. So what should I do now? Should I just... This move? Okay, let's try to attack. I don't know. Knight e4. Knight e4. Knight e4. What if I take? Just a question. Knight b3. Okay, this knight is coming here, as far as I understand. But I have a plan what I can do against it. I can play here. let's try this move. And now I can take one more piece. Yes. King d6, now knight e5 and knight c6 will win the pawn, or I can try knight d6 and something after that. Now let's play safer. So king e2, king e2, king e2, king e2. Let's try to play here and see the intentions of my opponent. D4, and I played rook b8 because then I wanted to play rook b5. I can think about bishop f8, but okay, let's play rook b5. Let's take this. Let's take that. So now I'm 2 pieces up, right? What do I do now? Knight c5 or okay, this pawn is hanging, this I see. Can just defend it. I mean, okay, let's just defend it. Let's just defend it. Muzychuk will not like it, but I like it. So okay, let's try to play this way, safer way. So what can I do? I can play rook e5, good. I can play d4, also good. Let's play d4, and then d5. Knight f6, knight f6. Can I take this pawn? Yes. Should I take this pawn? I'm not sure. But why not? Yes? Why not? Let's take. We will think later if that was the good move or not. I think it's not bad. Now we place this knight on d5. And now I have to do something special. And because if I don't do it, then I'll have some problems. So let's try to kick this rook out of this place. So c3. Okay, let's offer a draw here because I believe this person played good. No draws. Okay, we will fight. Okay, why not? Let's fight. A drunk pyromaniac, rook e6. Okay, but what's your idea? I know you're hoping for this pawn, but if I take one more, I don't see what's wrong with that. Just c3. Okay, the problem is that the bishop won. g5 was bad. So can we take? I believe we can take now. And now I move my knight. Rook d8. Now I will just improve my position. So can I take on a2? I am not sure because rook a4. But I can just move the knight back. Move the knight back, then this pawn will be taken. So where will I move the knight? Okay, let's move the knight back. You take, you eat, and you run away. Oh, c4. Oh my god. Who told you to play chess this way? c4. Okay, this is a very interesting move, in fact. Oh, what to do? I have to think what to do. I'm not sure what to do. Let's take. Let's take. If you don't know what to do, just take everything you see. Rook c6, but this square is protected. Well, you wanna play rook c2. This I can see. Oh, what to do? What about playing some interesting move? Let's make an interesting move. Let's play here. Let's attack the bishop. If you don't know what to do, just take the pieces. Knight c5, yeah. Eagle Perk had a great idea. This was really a great idea. Very strong one. So I can take on c5, but then knight c5. And this bishop is bad. And I don't like that this bishop is bad. Yeah, but I can't go for rook b4, rook c4, because then knight d7 and knight b6. This was the problem. Well, let's take. Let's play here. Queen d4. Let's take rook. Rook. So should I go to b4 or let's be more solid? What can I do now? To be honest, I don't know. Let's try. Now we develop the pieces. You all want to go for some endgames. Do you really like the endgames so much? Do you really like the endgames so much? Well, now I will start my son again. Yeah, king f2. Okay, this is just too strong, you know. King f2 and king e3. I think I can do nothing here. Can I? What can I do? I don't know what I can do. Yes, but I have to make some move, so I'll make some move. So what's now? Let's just play this move. Okay, what to do? I have a good position, but I need more time to convert it. Oh, finally some changes in life. Maybe knight a6 was not the best. So this was a sacrifice for a few pawns. So I just improve my position here. I move my bishop here. I continue attacking the pawns. I will slowly start moving the pieces. c3. Well, let's just keep on attacking and see what happens. What's happening? Let's just move the pawns. Let's keep on attacking. But do we really need it? Maybe you don't need it so much. Maybe you can play there. Okay, maybe not. Let's just play this move. Let's take. Let's regroup. Let's regroup somehow. Let's move. Here we take because we are a pawn up. So this I take, this I take, and this I move. I have some interesting ideas, but I'm not sure they are good. I'm not sure this is good, but let's play. Now I have an idea of how to do that. Let's place the queen here. Yes. Should I go there or should I go in this direction? I believe both ways it's good. This should be winning. I play here, rook c4. Didn't expect that. Bishop f8. Okay. Okay. You defend it. I'll continue to attack at this mode, and the king goes here. I don't want to allow the king goes there. I can play this move. Take. The king moved. Now I have to create something more. Let's play this move, for example. Let's take it. Let's play this move. Bishop e7, fine. Now let's give a check. No, we will not give a check. We can play here. e4. Okay, this game was the problem for me from the very beginning. Check. Let's bring another rook. This we are taking. This we are moving, but then the bishop is coming there. And I don't want that. So first I play bishop d2 and then I'll move the pawns. Finally I can take it. Okay, I'll just make some move, check. But why did you go for an endgame being a pawn down? Is there a reason for going to an endgame when you're a pawn down? Seems like it's not good. Can I attack it? Yes. Yes. Okay, everyone is thinking again. Okay, I got the move. Now I'm preparing a mating combination. Now I think we will have a thematical endgame. When we have two post pawns, I mean we have that post pawn and we have the post pawn on another, the G post pawn. So we play here and we move our pawns. Here on b5. Are there some stalemating ideas? I don't see them yet. g4. This game how can I save this game? How can I save this game? I don't know how to save this game. Let's try to win the other ones. Okay, let's move the king. King towards the center. Let's go. Not impressed by my position. Not at all. Okay, I'll just make some more. And now another pawn is running. And this one I will not blunder. What can I do? I'll just stay and see. The rook is hanging. Now and now. No. What can I do now? What can I do now? I don't know what I can do now. Just some. There are two boards. Two boards still. Two left. Rook a4. I'm not impressed by my position. C4? No, there is no C4. Let's go! My last hope. Well, now I can play king c4, and then if check, I play f4, so it doesn't sound bad. Let's try it. Okay, but then some trades. Anyway, let's try it. Let's try it. King f4. I don't know what I can do here. I think I can't do much here. Okay, just check. F4 as promised. King b2. Are you sure about king b2? Check. Now I have some tricks. Or I can simply play e5, which is also very good. e5. Let's play e5 first. Yeah, let's play e5. Let's play e5 first. Okay, this one I'll resign because the opponent played too strong. And this is the last game. So this is the threat. Rook c8. But my idea was to play this tricky move. Check. So if pawn take, then I take the rook. Likely the king has to move, but a big question where the king is going to move, because there are problems everywhere. If the king moves to c1 or d1, king to c1 or d1 is tricky. My opponent is taking quite much time. King d2 finally was played. Well, for king c1 there was knight d3. For king d1, I'm not sure what I was going to play, but I would have played something. What do I do now? I have to move the knight somewhere. But there are some questions where to move it. Let's try to give it a check. Check. And now let's take this pawn. And now let's think where we move the king, here or there. Here or there? What would be your choice? My choice, if I move here, then I rook d8 and then I will not have knight d3 anymore. That's why I move it to b3. Check. Take. I already have 2 pawns for an exchange, which can't be bad. I mean, the battle of my life with 1000 rated opponent. God. King e2. Dorayaki, you play quite well. So what do I do now? How should I regroup my pieces? Where should I move my knight? Where do I want to place it in general? Maybe let's just... Okay, I can play knight e4 and then knight d6. Let's make it this way. Let's play here. Then e4 is coming. Rook c5, yes, rook c5, it's good. So now basically rook d5 is kind of threatening. I think I have to do something now. I can play f3 and f2. And this will likely be a draw. Or I can first try to play e4. Move the pawns! Go, 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 go. I'm sorry, I'm not checking the chat. But I will check everything you wrote. I'm sure there were many supporting messages. I want to take this pawn. And I'm taking it. And now let's see how it will go and in which direction. Okay, normally it's a draw. But my opponent is thinking hard what to do. Once again, I am reminded this is the last game of the Simul. Rook d5. Okay, cutting the king makes sense. What can I do? Check. There. I'm a bit surprised. And my opponent is playing in a bit sophisticated way. Can I just move the pawns? Move my pawns! Pony pawns! And my horsey horse is coming. Horsey horse is coming. Now let's move the king away. I think after we finish this game, there will be a small, short analysis about our game. Yeah, White finally came with the right plan to give the rook for the knight and the pawn. There was also an option to give the rook for 2 pawns, what would have been much easier. Okay, finally we are finishing this game. So that was a draw. Quite a difficult game. Thanks to everyone who played in the Simul. So finally I am back to chat. Oh. Some talks about the rooks. Okay. So let's see what happened in the games. We may start from this one, actually, because it was quite an interesting one. Can I? No. If I try to analyze it. Thank you, Ventro, for the beats. So how do I add analysis button? Analysis. Okay, I can try to make, but this will be a new board. So let's see. Drunk Pyromanic, I have already checked your game. Wow, you were quite quick. So how do I make the board smaller? This one, finally we have the, just I'll have to adjust it here so that we all see what was happening in every game. You see the board, right? Yes, I'll make it a bit smaller. Okay, here it is. I cut my opponent. Not nice. Oh no, there is, I don't know why, but I can't add my opponent. So here it is. Good night, Eric. I played French. Normally I don't play French so often. This game was versus Dorayaki 91. So this is still the series as far as I know. Yes, bishop f3, c5. It's logical because the knight cannot move to f3, so the knight has to go to e2, knight c6, bishop e3. And now, yeah, I knew that the main move is c takes d4, but I decided to play a bit creative and I went for knight d5. Computer doesn't like it so much. Bishop d5 is the first line, queen d5, knight c3 is the first line. I mean, and it's already advantage for white because of after queen g2, rook g1, queen h2, bishop f4, queen h5, knight b5, but my opponent is playing all the moves according to the first line. So here knight c7 is threatening and I don't have a good defense against it, so I decided, you know, to play rook b8 to kind of prepare for it in advance. And now, according to computer, the better move was knight c7, forcing the king to go to e7 and then play something like queen d2. But in our game, d takes c5 was played, bishop c5. Now I think I got a good compensation, because after bishop b8, knight b8, okay, I am exchanged down, but I have two pawns. After knight d6, yes, I told you I was hesitating between bishop takes d6 and king e7, and I was right that king e7 is a stronger move, because this bishop is very strong, while after king e7, knight c8, rook c8, I bring one more piece into the game, and the bishop on c8 was passive, so it was good to trade it. The only disadvantage is that my king is on the center, but white can't really exploit it. That's why it was good for me. Queen d2. Now I played rook d8. Yes, I kind of blundered this pawn on g7. Yes, Lizochka, hello. I also blunder something sometimes. It would be a good move if not about queen g5 and given this g7 pawn. My idea was not to allow long castling. That's why I played a rook d8, but there was a problem with that. So queen g5, queen takes. Yeah, now the position is... the computer shows it's like advantage for white, but in fact it's not a big advantage, because I still have one pawn for an exchange, and my pieces are well coordinated, so it should be quite okay. And knight c3, I'm not sure it's the best because I have the spin. And now after king e2, I spoil white's pawn structure. Now rook c8, I'm trying to attack the pawns. As I told you, I could play rook d8, and most probably it would have been a draw, but I played rook c5. My idea was to bring the rook to f5. Not as if my position is better, but I just tried. I just thought, why not to continue the game? So rook b1, b6, rook b4, a good move. Okay, my opponent starts to play strong again. Rook f5, king e2. Now I offered a draw by repeating the move, but surprisingly my opponent didn't want to draw. He played rook g3, and maybe white is better, but I believe, I mean, if I play normally, it should be a draw. So knight d5, rook h4, the best move, knight c3, king d2, and now I was speaking about taking this pawn, but I think it was not possible because of rook a4, attacking the knight, attacking the pawn. Now the only move is rook a5, but then if we trade and this rook is coming and taking this pawn, taking that pawn, I am not a big fan of that, so I decided to retreat my knight to d5, rook h7, knight f6, I am attacking the rook, also threatening knight e4, therefore rook h4 is the only move. And now I decide, okay, let's again attack all the pawns. Basically, I mean, my rook and my knight are staying well, so I can't improve the position of my pieces anymore, so I can just, you know, stay and wait. So a6, I trade these pawns, the less pawns, the easier to play. Rook h4, now check. And now I am, finally there is an opportunity to penetrate with the king, and I am trying to bring my king to c4 as I did in the game. Rook f3, f5, defended the pawn, king d1, rook a2, this all is very logical, rook h3, king c5, rook h4, f4, rook. Okay, rook h8 was a better move, but then there is rook a2, so opponent played king b2, rook b3, and yes, I could play knight b4 immediately, but then, I mean, I first wanted to defend this pawn and then have this trick, but I didn't have enough time. I mean, I had enough time, it's still a draw, just there was also a possibility to do it immediately. So it's now I found this trick to take on f2, but I win one more pawn. Yes, I was speaking about king d5, but king d5, the problem is that now there is rook d8, and when I move the king now, then a rook simply takes this rook, and after knight d3 there is rook d3. That's why I didn't move my king to d5, but I moved my king to b3, so that I have knight d3 idea. And now it's a totally draw, but my opponent started to play in a bit strange way. I mean, there were a million of ways to do it in easier. For example, here, the easiest is to go rook f5, attacking this pawn, and if the pawn moves, you simply take, and this is a draw. So instead, rook d5 was played, but here, I mean, king e1 was really surprising. I don't know why not king f2, not allowing e3, because if I play e3 now, then you would have taken this pawn. So why to allow e3? I mean, it's still a draw, but it's already a bit dangerous. So rook d8, and yes, I played f2, I tried my last chance, but yes, you can't play rook f8 immediately because I queen, rook takes f1, and my king is too close, and so that I'm winning. While if you first do some checks so that the king moves away, and after the king moves away, then white is in time to play king e2. So actually a very good game by Dorayaki. Good performance. Let's see another game, another one. What happened in this one, for example. Waiting for the next one to be loaded. Here it is. This is versus Erdan. d6, bishop e5. Well, everything is fine at the moment. Quite logical. And now I started to go for an attack. Computer doesn't like it because he says that if you take the pawn now and if you develop the knight and then you castle, the position is about equal. But when you develop the knight first, then the problem started because I managed to attack immediately, and the only move to defend the e6 pawn is to play knight f8. But then yes, e5 was the best move. Wow, I am surprised. D takes e5. Queen f3, the strongest. I didn't know if queen f3 or queen e2, but somehow I felt queen f3 is... Sometimes I'll have the ideas of queen g3 and it's more active. h6, and now the computer doesn't like my move. Knight ge4 is the second option, but I missed this check. Yes, I completely missed this check. I mean, I simply didn't see it. And it's totally winning. Yes, if this knight moves, then I take the pawn. If this knight moves, then knight f7. And if queen, then the rook will be unprotected. I mean, oh my god, queen c6, I should make such moves. But I played solid. Knight ge4, knight h7, and now I started to play well. Queen g3, yes, check. Computer doesn't like it. Not like he's arguing too much, but he thinks that taking on e4 immediately with the knight was a better option. I'm not so sure, to be honest. Sometimes I can argue with the engine. So I decided to check first, to take now. Yeah, it's already quite a huge advantage of +2. So knight f6, this is the best move. Queen takes g7, take. Taking one more pawn. Computer prefers taking this pawn, but that's more dangerous. I mean, taking the pawn and open the files in front of your king, usually people are a bit afraid to do that. So I decided to take this pawn. Going for an endgame was a good decision for black. It's not good to trade the pieces when you have one pawn less. But in this particular position, the problem is that the black kings was weak. And if we keep the queens on the board, then the king would be really in trouble. That's why it was necessary to trade the queens. So bishop f4, bishop d6, rook a d1. This is good. And now, yeah, computer says you shouldn't have traded the rooks, but this position is very difficult to play. Maybe, yeah, rook c8, trying to attack the c2 pawn. Well, I'll always be able to defend it with rook f2, but I agree that rook c8 was a better move because it creates some counterplay. Because after rook f1, king f1, then there is no counterplay. I simply bring my king closer to the center. And now bishop e1. Yeah, this tricky move, bishop g5, threatening bishop c1. so I decided to play bishop d2. And now when we go to the end game, it's just simply winning because I have g pawn and I have a pawn. That's it. What's the next game? This one we have seen, this one we have seen. Tactics in chess, what happened in that game. Waiting for it to be loaded. So tactics in chess. This is the Sicilian line. Yes, queen d4 is not the most popular move, but it's interesting one. You may check the ideas if you want to play it with white in your own games. So the idea is we don't go with the queen, we try to keep the queen on the center, and then we try to go for an attack as quickly as possible. So we pin this knight, we take this knight, and then we play knight c3, but then black went for e5, and after e5 the square is weak. So I played queen d3, and I believe the best move was to play h6. I mean, black shouldn't have allowed this bishop g5 move, because after this exchange, I mean, it's a typical idea, please remember this one. After knight f6, I am exchanging this bishop for this knight, but then there is this knight is, I mean, the knight which was staying on f6, it's not controlling the d5 square, and we see that this knight is close to this square, but this knight is actually doing nothing. That's why I started maneuvering this knight immediately to d5, and computer actually likes it, so I needed 3 moves for that, and now the knight is on d5. I mean, the square is so good. Well, the dark squared bishop will be forever a problem for black in this position. So queen a5, castle, castle, a3. Just a waiting move, because maybe sometimes I'll want to move the rook and then the knight, and I don't want this pawn to be hanging. So queen c5. Knight cd5, and after bishop g5 was played, I kind of thought that this queen might be trapped, so I was considering this move. Let's say after queen b5 I play c4, and it's already very dangerous, but then I didn't like b4 because of queen d4, and computer agrees. That's why I first played rook d1, but I believe that after rook d1 black should have taken not this knight and given this bishop, but black should have taken this knight and leave this bishop, not that one, because in this case this bishop is not so passive. I mean, white still has a pleasant edge, but if you get this position is strategically so bad, this bishop will never have any counterplay, simply never. Also, look, if we compare if black gives the dark square bishop and then the knight goes to d5, then you can trade this bishop. Maybe not immediately, but at some moment you may trade. So bishop d5 was basically like the biggest mistake, because okay, the opening, sometimes you are lucky, sometimes you are not, but strategically this was a big problem. I mean, you may also think like later on you gave the pawn, but this position is already very unpleasant. Look at this bishop. This bishop has no future. I'm just improving my position. I'm regrouping my pieces, bringing the rook. Then I thought of bringing, I had some idea of something like rook f5 and bringing another rook, or you know, or queen f5 and then g4, g5.
Having you on the Chess Space India stream, Anna.
Yeah, thanks, Chess Fabregas. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm glad that you were the chess-based stream. Yes, and I don't know, but I hope we will have more streams. By the way, there was one more video which was released yesterday or 2 days ago. For chess.com, I commented a game between Jan Nepomniachtchi and Magnus Carlsen. Maybe you even saw that video already. So let's go back to the game. Now there was another big blunder, but this one is tactical. So the first one was strategical and this one was tactical, and now after rook f7, yeah, it's totally winning. And then there is this idea of knight f6, so that if the pawn takes, then the mate is coming. So that was about this game. This we leave. Who was the next Gamer 40. I kind of remember this game. Let's put it for analyzing. Thanks for the beats, Ventov. Okay, finally it's loaded. So it's another Sicilian and something similar but a new line. In the previous game it was d6 bishop b5, here it's knight c6 bishop b5. So the idea is that white gives the bishop in this line and then they try to go for an attack with knight f3 and castle. And I believe black should have played, maybe now it's already a bit too late, in fact, maybe e6 is even the problem, because after you play e6, I always have an opportunity to play e5 and then this pawn is weak. So I believe that in such kind of structure you should play d6, and why I'll explain you later, because look what happened in the game. I played castle, castle, now I played e5, and now when you play d6 or d5, I take, and these pawns are weak. And basically after e5 you can't do nothing. You try to do something. f6 was actually a good try, because if I trade these pawns, then later on you play d6 and you have a good structure. But I keep my pawn on e5. I played queen e1. I could have gone for bishop e3 immediately, but I played queen e1, which is also good. And knight e3. Now I played bishop e3. Take, take. And I mean, I'm keeping this pawn and you can do nothing with that pawn. And this bishop is forever bad. So you finally played d6. Computer says you should have played bishop h6, but it's so much unhuman. So I went for d6, but now I'm already winning a pawn. So I take this pawn, and look, once again this bishop is very passive, and knights have good squares. I mean, this one and this one. This one is already on c5, and another one was later on transferred to c4. Look how it happened. I played rook e1, bringing the last piece, which is not playing. You attack the knight, I retreated the knight, and now I bring another knight. So basically, I mean, my knights are perfect and the bishops are passive. So this was not good. Knight d6, well, basically, the rest of the game, I could have played a bit better. Perhaps black could have defended a bit better, but it's lost. I mean, according to computer, it's +3, so it's like, well, now it's already plus more than 9, so it's quite hopeless. So I mean, the biggest problem was to play e6 and then to have the problem with the c5 pawn. Don't do it again in your next game. Okay, finally, this is the game which I lost. Let's look at it. This is the only game I lost. So I lost one game, I made one draw, and I won how many? 8? Yes, should be 8 by mathematics. Yes, finally it's loaded. So the opening is a bit suspicious, but anyway. Now I decided to go for d4 because I didn't want to allow white to play d4 and have a strong center, so I played d4. But with playing d4, I give this important square, and when the knight is coming there, it's not so pleasant. So basically, d4 is no, this move like so. Not that bad, but not that great. d3, knight e7, castling, h6. Now I tried to play in a bit artificial way, and I decided to go for g5. I mean, my idea was to play bishop g7, knight g6, and then sometimes g4 could be an idea, and then to attack this pawn. But knight e1 was quite a good move. It's not in the top 3 lines of the engine, but it's good because the idea is to play f4 and to block. I mean, if I put the pieces on these squares, then f4 will simply block them. That's why f4 came, and I played d takes f4, bishop f4, knight g6, and now bishop c6. Yes, it's the first choice of an engine. It's a very strong move. Usually you prefer to keep this bishop close to your king, because it's kind of defending it, and normally you don't want to give this bishop, but the problem is that this pawn is hanging, and if you play knight f3 you could have defended this pawn, but bishop c6 is really good because I can't activate my like squared bishop to create problems on this diagonal, I mean on this one. That's why it was a good decision. And then and starting from here I didn't like my position at all, because the knight is coming and then it comes here or there, or simply I take this pawn and the bishop is too bad. I mean, it's something similar to what happened in the previous game, but at that time I was white, and I was on a better side, while now I am black, and I had the problems with the slice square bishop till the end of the game. So I decided to castle, and now I decided to activate my bishop even by giving a pawn. Yes, I saw that I am giving this pawn on c5. Okay, we traded. I took the pawn on e5, white took the pawn on g5, but I gave one more pawn, but somehow now there is more freedom to this bishop. So I hoped this will be a kind of compensation. But white continued to play very well here. Maybe I should have gone for e5 here immediately, not allowing d4. Because I played rook b8, I wanted to play rook b5, and I did play rook b5 on the next move. Yes, I thought about e5 now. Yes, I was sure this move is correct. Yeah, first e5, giving one more pawn, but activate these bishops. Because when the bishops are passive, look what's happening when the bishops are passive. Knight d3, now I don't have e5 anymore. I tried to play rook f8 because I thought that if white takes, then I can take with this pawn and then activate my bishop. So this was my idea. But white found a very strong move, which is c4. And I didn't know what to do. I mean, if I take with the rook, then the knight is coming and still the bishop is passive. So I took with the bishop, but now white didn't take the rook, because then I move my bishop here or there. Okay, let's say here. And if white takes, then okay, look at these bishops now, they are so strong. But white took on c5 first, and now it's just very bad. White is a pawn up, and now it was important to bring the king to the center. Okay, knight a6 is a bit strange move. I mean, speaking about the technique, because you trade some pawns and you kind of give some hope for black. I mean, after something like king e3, black simply has no moves. I mean, this rook is coming, then somewhere here, or to b7. Okay, it's just very bad. But knight a6, I thought I could have some chances here, but yeah, king g1. Looks like it was lost in the end anyway. So good game by Eagle Park. Especially bishop c6 was a great move. And c4. I mean, these two moves were simply amazing. What was the next game? Drunk Pyromaniac. I hope you're still there. So we are here, we have a new game, New Sicilian. This is a tricky move. If black takes the pawn, then queen a4, check and winning the piece. That's why don't play this with black. Knight c6 was played. I played d4. Now it's the same. If black takes on e4, then there is d5, and when the knight moves, then queen a4 is coming. But after e6, knight c3, and we can already say that white is having quite a decent advantage because of a better center. So just the position is much more comfortable to play. Castle, d5, take, knight e5, knight d4, bishop d7, h3, bishop f4. Maybe bishop f4 was not the bad, but yeah. Rook c5 was kind of a blunder because now I play a knight b3, and wherever the rook goes, then I take the knight and I play d6 like it happened in the game. So rook c7, and then okay, then it was just lost. So basically this rook c5 was a big problem. You should have played a rook e8, yeah, just rook e8 or knight c4, but not rook c5 because of knight b3. So who is there? Nice cookie. Nice cookie, you gave me the rook on h1. That was very nice of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was fine. h6. At g5, once again, I tried to play something which is not the best, but something that will be interesting. f3. This is good. Everything is good for white. h4, it's very logical. Take. But now I don't know what happened, but you simply gave me the rook. If you traded the rooks and then played queen d2, your position would have been good. But you were nice, as your nick. So you gave me the rook, and then it was just winning for black. And 2 games more. Eric, what happened? Eric gave me the knight on... It's still loading. Eric gave me the knight on e5. So this is Caro-Kann. This is the line. Knight g3. This is more or less okay. I decided to go for a long castle. a5. And knight e5, I'm not sure. I think, but why not just to develop the piece? Just make the castle later on. No. Bishop b4? Bishop b4 I don't like so much. But bishop b4 is the first line. Okay, bishop b4 or bishop e7. Maybe bishop b4 was even the best. Yeah, bishop b4. Yeah, because when white, I mean, in general, when your opponent has a bishop pair advantage, then try to trade one bishop. Because when you play in versus, I mean, when it's just the bishop versus a knight, it's better for the side which has a knight than when you're playing versus 2 bishops and you have a bishop and a knight. So bishop b4, I mean, strategically it's good. Bishop e7 was also good. Knight e5 I didn't like much because I am already attacking this knight. Then you try to regroup your pieces, but there are some problems. I mean, there are already problems over this diagonal. Your bishop can't move because it has to defend this pawn. And now you gave me the piece, and then it was lost. So basically, knight e5 was your main mistake on the game. Try to develop the pieces which are undeveloped first. And this is the last game. Which happened today? What was that? This was strategical battle in the Nimzo-Indian. Knight c3, bishop e4. Okay, this is the theory. This is the theory. e3 is not the main line. If you play this line with black, you have to enter the complications which are following after you take the pawn. And then black kind of is ahead in development while you have a pawn more, and it's a very complicated game. But if you play e3, it already says that you will not get advantage in this game. I could have simply taken on d4, then I could just play knight c6 or taken on c4, and it's not the best version of the isolated pawn for white. I decided to trade some pieces. I decided to make the game simpler. So even here it's just equal. So e3 was basically, okay, not like the big mistake, because the position is still equal, everything is okay, it was not a blunder, but if you want to try to press and try to play for initiative, you should learn the lines which are following after d takes c5 on move 7. So knight f3, this is okay, rook e1 is okay, threatening d5, that's why I played long castle. I could have also played, yeah, knight e7 or short castle. Short castle I liked less because I wanted to keep my king closer to the center. That's why I went for long castle, rook ac1. Now I played king b8 so that there is no pin. b4. And now it was a mistake, this bishop b5, because after bishop b5 there is a tactical shot and it's knight d4. And the problem is that if you take on d4, I take the bishop on b5 and white can't take the bishop because of the spin. So I decided to go for bishop d7, but then I'm just a pawn up and this pawn structure is very bad, so these pawns are weak, so basically it's just easily winning endgame for black. So, I mean, once again, you should have paid attention to this line and to this blunder, I mean bishop b5. You shouldn't have played bishop b5, just, I don't know, play king c3, get rid of this potential sacrificing ideas. So, and this position is about equal, it's still quite fine. Well, there are no more games. We had a look over each of them. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I couldn't follow the chat because yeah, I was either playing or either explaining, but I hope you understood what I was explaining. If you have any questions left, do you have any questions? Do we have? Will we make another one? Not today, but if you like the idea, we will definitely have another one. One more thing is that reminder about my Discord channel. If you join it, then you have a chance to be first in the list. Thank you, Linda, for providing a link to Discord. What else? Have I ever played against Kasparov? No, I didn't. 20-hour stream? Not soon. Definitely not soon. When I come, I prefer to enjoy it, not, to make it as long as possible. Do I have all games in mind while I am playing, or do I remember when you see the position? I know what's going on the other games, but when I have one specific position, then I'm thinking over it. I'm not thinking about the other games when I'm thinking over what to play on this one. Thanks for the positive feedbacks. Wasn't bishop g4 inaccurate in Karakan game? Bishop g4 was okay. This line is fine. Maybe it's just, the question of taste. Somebody likes to give this bishop, somebody doesn't. If you like to give this bishop and the positions which are rising after that, then okay. If not, there are also other moves like knight f6 or knight d7. Just choose the one you like more. But it's not like a big mistake to play bishop g4. Hand and brain with Elizabeth. Yes, when Elizabeth will be back, we will definitely make some co-streams. Spice it 5. Oh, sorry. Yes, I know you were in the list, but I didn't see a challenge from you, so I'm sorry you were late. But I really hope you'll play on the next one. What's the most dynamic opening against close Sicilian? Okay, Sicilian is already the opening, so I guess you're asking about what's the most dynamic line against close Sicilian. So basically when you play in with black, yes, most dynamical one. Well, e4, c5, knight c3. You may try to go for e6 and d5. It will be like more opened, but you have to be careful with that. How can I study the openings? Well, you have no coach, it's not so easy, but you may first of all choose the opening you like, then check who is playing it often, and then try to study the games by the top players who play this opening on a high level, and just kind of copy what they are doing, just as a suggestion. Robbie, all guns blazing. Maybe next time we'll have a rematch. hopefully. You are an often guest on my stream, so I'm sure there will be many more games to come. Did I win every game? No, I didn't win all. I lost actually one and one draw, and I won all the rest. Will I upload this on my YouTube channel? I didn't think about it. I don't know. I really don't know. Why does everyone hate friend defense? Not everyone. Not everyone, first of all. But maybe many people prefer more active openings, and they don't like when you have less space and when you have, to... sometimes there are positions where you have to stay and maneuver for a long time, and people prefer, some Sicilians, something more excited. Robert has said he hated it, but in fact he had played many times friend himself with black, so I don't believe he really hates it. Maybe he started to like some other openings, some other lines more. So, hi Franciscus, the simul is over and the analysis is over. I'm a bit sorry that you came a bit late, but I hope you will join for the next simuls. Yes, I think Hess drew Anand with French opening. Yes, you're right. He's alright. Yes, I think yes. And after that, he says that French is the bad opening. Yes, I mean, you shouldn't believe too much what Hess is saying. If you have problems with your e4 when black... you have problems with e4 when black plays French. Well, there are many good, solid lines, more complicated lines. So, thanks once again. Thank you all for participating in the simul. Thanks for good feedbacks. I'm glad you liked it. That means I'll think about doing more of it. Sorry for those who didn't have an opportunity to play today, but I am sure you will have opportunity to play in the next simul. So, see you next time. Bye bye everyone.